WSTKS-FM Worldwide. Digital collaborative learning for the 21st century. Hello, and welcome back to the Collaborative Café, a podcast about the integration of generative artificial intelligence into undergraduate education. My name is Stokes Schwartz, and I'm a professor in the Center for Integrative Studies in the Arts and Humanities at Michigan State University. The ideas shared here reflect my ongoing research and developing thoughts around GenAI's role in the post-secondary classroom. In today's episode, let's take a slightly different tack and carry out an experiment of sorts. We'll first compare and contrast the output from 5 different artificial intelligences in response to the following prompt. Please generate a discussion of 5 arguments against the inclusion of generative artificial intelligence in post-secondary classrooms. Be sure to include full citations according to APA 7 guidelines. Don't make up anything. We'll also verify the existence of references cited and, where possible, check their accuracy. I began the experimental process by plugging that prompt into ChatGPT 3.5. Here is a summarized and modified version of its output. Quote, "When it comes to ethical concerns, AI systems can perpetuate biases due to the data with which they have been trained, raising questions about fairness and equity. A second argument against the inclusion of GenAI in the college classroom is an over-reliance on the technology, which risks diminishing the cultivation of critical thinking and creativity among students. GenAI tools can also hinder the development of essential research, analysis, and writing skills when students opt for automation over engagement. Fourthly, ownership and authorship of AI-generated content remain unclear, introducing additional challenges into the teaching and learning process. Last of all, many educators aren't fully prepared to integrate GenAI technologies effectively into their classrooms." End quote. Okay. A concise summary of points that one might expect to hear in an argument against the inclusion of GenAI in the college classroom. It all sounds reasonable. On an interesting cautionary note, however, not one of the 5 citations provided were easy to verify using the Articles and More search function in our library system here at Michigan State University. Even an advanced search failed to shed any light on things. Without enlisting the help of a reference librarian, I'm left wondering if any of these sources really exist, or if ChatGPT made up the references it provides in support of its arguments against GenAI in the college classroom. After a quick break, we'll look at how a second artificial intelligence did with the same prompt. Welcome back, everyone. Okay, I next entered the same prompt into PopAI. Please generate a discussion of 5 arguments against the inclusion of generative artificial intelligence in post-secondary classrooms, and don't make up anything. Here is a summarized and modified version of PopAI's response. Quote, "The integration of generative AI into college and university classrooms poses several challenges. First is the issue of academic integrity, meaning students could submit AI-generated work as their own, eroding academic honesty. Next, an over-reliance on AI might hinder critical thinking and deeper understanding, skewing learning outcomes in the process. Third, AI systems can perpetuate biases thanks to the data used to train them, affecting educational experiences of the students using the technology in an uncritical way. In addition, the use of AI may raise privacy issues related to its collection of user data. Last, unequal access to AI technologies could exacerbate and widen existing socioeconomic gaps, contributing little to the process of learning and knowledge democratization. End quote. Right. Another reasonable-sounding cautionary note against bringing GenAI technology into the college classroom without careful thought on the part of instructors. PopAI did marginally better when I double-checked the veracity of its citations, with 4 out of the 5 references cited easily verified through our library's catalog system. But one of the 5 sources was harder to pin down, calling into question at least some of the information generated by PopAI in response to my prompt. We'll continue our exploration of GenAI's arguments against the inclusion of its technology in the college classroom in one moment. Stay tuned. As part of my experiment testing the veracity and accuracy of GenAI output, I next brought up ClaudeAI in my browser and entered the same prompt, again asking it to present 5 arguments against the practice of using GenAI technology in the college classroom. Here is a more concise version of its response with a few of my own modifications for ease of understanding. Quote, "The introduction of generative artificial intelligence to the post-secondary classroom brings with it several challenges. To begin with, because students might be tempted to submit AI-generated work as their own, the concept of academic integrity is thrown into question. Likewise, over-reliance on AI might hinder the development of critical thinking, writing, and problem-solving skills. Unequal access to AI technologies depending on social or geographic location or economic status could also potentially widen educational gaps. Because GenAI relies on the collection of sensitive information, which it cannot later unlearn, use of the technology by college and university students raises privacy issues relating to student data. Malicious actors can potentially access and expose that data without students' consent. Finally, incorporating GenAI into the college classroom on a wide scale may reduce valuable instructor-to-student and student-to-student interactions." End quote. Here again, we have what sounds like a reasonable summary of a case made against introducing GenAI into our classrooms. One that mirrors more or less the output generated by ChatGPT 3.5 and PopAI, if not a bit on the repetitive side. But, one more time, only 3 of the 5 sources cited by Claude were easily verified through the Articles and More page accessed through the Michigan State University Library homepage. Even with advanced searches, 2 sources remained elusive and do not seem to have their basis on genuine scholarship, suggesting the need for vigilance when it comes to relying on GenAI technology for accurate information, whatever our purposes might be. Welcome back. As a reminder, today's episode looks at output generated by several AIs in response to the prompt, "Please generate a discussion of 5 arguments against the inclusion of generative artificial intelligence in post-secondary classrooms," And, this is important, and don't make up anything. Following ChatGPT 3.5, PopAI, and ClaudeAI, each of which generated reasonable sounding output based on, to varying degrees, questionable source materials, I next turned to our old friend Microsoft Copilot and repeated the process using the same prompt. What follows is a summarized and modified version of its output. Quote, GenAI's human-like text generation blurs the boundaries between original student work and AI-generated content. Institutions must consider plagiarism definitions, emphasizing honesty over idealized originality. Unauthorized AI use may constitute misconduct. Secondly, identifying AI-generated writing remains challenging. Balancing cheating prevention with student learning is a delicate matter. Understanding student motives behind academic misconduct informs reduction strategies. Third, students using GenAI struggle to maintain their voice while incorporating AI assistance. In addition, over-reliance on the technology risks diminishing personal learning experiences and creativity. Moreover, transparency, accountability, and bias amplify ethical issues in the realm of teaching and learning. Further dilemmas are introduced when using AI tools that mimic human writing, and we need to grasp the limitations of technology as well as the implications surrounding its use. Last, integrating GenAI into course practices assumes easy access to technology. An unanticipated side effect of that expectation is wider educational disparities among students due to unequal access to technology. End quote. This fourth time around, and although it covers familiar territory, we have a slightly more interesting and nuanced discussion from Microsoft Copilot in comparison to the previous three generated by ChatGPT 3.5, PopAI, and ClaudeAI. Unlike the output generated by those three AIs, however, the 5 sources cited by Copilot were easy to verify. Not only through the MSU Library's Articles and More search function, but I was also able to find the references cited simply by clicking on the hyperlinks provided by Copilot as part of its output. It was therefore extremely easy to double-check the existence and accuracy of each source on which Copilot based its response to my prompt. Finally, I turned to JenniAI, an artificial intelligence designed specifically for academic writing, and prompted it with the same language used in my conversations with the previous 4 AIs included as part of this experiment. Here is a modified and condensed version of what Jenny argued against the inclusion of generative artificial intelligence in post-secondary classrooms. Quote, when it comes to academic integrity and the potential for student cheating, generative AI use raises concerns about academic honesty, as students might rely on AI-generated content for assignments, blurring the line between original work and automation. In addition, unequal access to generative AI tools could widen educational disparities, favoring students with better resources and leaving disadvantaged students behind, inadvertently contributing to inequalities in education. Thirdly, an over-reliance on artificial intelligence by students might hinder the development of critical thinking and independent learning, getting in the way of essential skill development. privacy, biased output, and other inaccuracies associated with AI systems need careful consideration in order to reduce ethical concerns that have arisen around the use of technology in educational settings. Finally, there is the matter of resource challenges, which are part of the discussion that has emerged around GenAI in the classroom. Implementing the technology requires significant investment and logistical support, potentially diverting resources from other educational priorities. End quote. So, like Microsoft Copilot, JenniAI 2 generated an informed response to my initial prompt. Indeed, its 7-paragraph essay was the most cogent and engaging of the 5 responses discussed within this particular episode. Jenny supported and based her output on 7 sources, each cited parenthetically in text, along with a bibliographically complete list of references according to APA 7 guidelines. Most significant, each of these was easy to verify through the Articles and More search function accessed through the MSU Library homepage. WSTKS-FM Worldwide. Digital collaborative learning for the 21st century. If you find this podcast helpful, be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. Before we conclude today's program on GenAI's own arguments against its inclusion in the college classroom, let's quickly review the related discussion. All 5 artificial intelligences consulted, that is, ChatGPT 3.5, PopAI, ClaudeAI, Microsoft Copilot, and JenniAI, generated similar arguments, reasonable in tone, against the sweeping integration of GenAI technology into college and university classrooms. All 5 cited, to varying degrees, issues like academic integrity, ethical concerns, data privacy, unequal access to technology, and challenges to the development of critical thinking skills, along with other vital competencies. Notably, however, none of the 5 citations provided by ChatGPT 3.5 were easy to verify using the Articles and More search function available through our library's homepage here at Michigan State University. PopAI and ClaudeAI fared marginally better, with 4 out of 5 and 3 out of 5 sources, respectively, found easily. On the other hand, Microsoft Copilot and JenniAI included 5 and 7 genuine references in their outputs, respectively. In each instance, the references cited were easy to find and verify for accuracy without the need to conduct an advanced search or use specific article databases. These results imply careful rather than indiscriminate selection of an AI to use in connection with any academic work. A necessary early step we must help our students understand with any independent or collaborative activities when it comes to easy verification and accuracy of materials referenced by an artificial intelligence. It's all part of fostering and ensuring effective, transparent, and ethical use of GenAI technology by our students should we decide to include it as part of our course and classroom practices. I suggest that we make AI use optional and direct interested students to Microsoft Copilot and JenniAI based on the results of my informal experiment outlined here. There might be other equally dependable AIs out there, but I have not yet had opportunity to explore them. And with that, we come to the end of today's program, during which we looked at AI's own arguments against its inclusion in college and university classrooms. Tune in next time when we'll look at GenAI, critical thinking, and creative problem solving. Until then, thank you for joining me today in the Collaborative Café. My name is Stokes Schwartz, and I'll talk to you again soon. Until then, have a healthy, safe, and productive week. Bye for now. You've just heard a podcast from WSTKS-FM Worldwide, digital collaborative learning for the 21st century.